It's Platt, and today I have a little can with a big punch. That's next with Platt's Drink of the Week. Well, all right, guys, we know summer's coming, pool drink season's coming, so I have something that I think is perfect for that, and that is Minute Maid Spiked Pina Colada. I bought a 4-pack of these for $8.49, and it comes in at 13.9% ABV. As far as these ready-to-drink cocktails that we reviewed, that's one of the higher, if not the highest, alcohol content, so I'm kind of interested to jump in this product and see what it's all about. Let's start off a little bit with Minute Maid themselves, one of the big brand names at your local grocery shelf. The story starts back in 1945 with a company called National Research Corporation, based out of Boston. At the time, they were doing contract work for the military, and they'd done some work dehydrating medical supplies, helping preserve it, reducing, weight for transport, just basically helping in the war effort. Well, the Army had come to them and asked them to work on a project to basically dehydrate certain foods or high nutrient foods, and want them to come up with basically a powder for orange juice, basically a precursor to Tang. Well, they were awarded the contract, and they started doing work on the process when the war ended. Now, the Army dropped the contract because they didn't need it at the time, but National Research Corp felt that they had done enough work that they ended up spinning off a new company called Florida Foods and got additional funding from investors and started this new venture. Now, they did not go with the powdered orange drink, but they ended up focusing on creating juice concentrate, basically the first can of orange juice frozen concentrate. And that's what they ended up creating, and thus a brand was created. Actually, the brand itself was kind of a marketing idea. They'd hired an outside marketing company to come up with the name Minute Maid. It was to imply that it was so easy, simple, fast to make a fresh juice just like that. Now, their first real big marketing coup came in 1948 when they sponsored the Bing Crosby radio show. Now, a lot of you out there are like, who's he talking about? Go ask your grandparents, or Wikipedia it. Bing was one of the great entertainers of the last century. His career started in the 20s, and he was working up until his death, I believe, in the late 70s when he passed, mid to late 70s. Singer, actor, just overall entertainer, and getting his radio show, or sponsoring his radio show, gave access to a massive audience, and orange juice concentrate sales just jumped after that. We talked about other brands that have kind of taken off on this channel. So what ends up happening is, of course, big corporations come in to buy them out. And that is what happened in 1960 when Coca-Cola purchased the brand Minute Maid. It is still under their corporate portfolio today. Now, the company itself in 1967 moved out of Florida, and it moved to its new current home in Houston, Texas. And it became a big part of the community. So much so that it stepped in 2002 to take over for Enron after they went broke. The Astros ballpark at the time was originally, when they built it, was Enron Field, if I remember right, and it became Minute Maid Field, and then they started banging trash cans in the dugout. But I'll just leave it at that. Next, talk about the drink itself, Pina Colada. A little bit of history, a little background on Pina Coladas. There's no set point of origin or date of origin, anything like that. One of the great legends about the drink, which is kind of a cool story, was in the early 1800s, a pirate known as Roberto Caffrezi supposedly was leading a ship full of bandits and wanted to rally the troops, and he created a concoction of rum, coconut, and pineapple. Now, we know the stories of pirates and rum, so that does not seem crazy. If you're in the Caribbean, you have access to coconut, pineapple, so the story is not too far-fetched. Whether that happened or not, we're not sure, but it was not out of the realm of possibility, and adds a little bit of color and unique background to the drink. One of the first actual mentions of the drink came in 1922 in Travel magazine. They mentioned a drink with rum, lime, and pineapple. Now that seems a little strange to us today, but back 100 years or so ago in cocktail culture, fresh lime juice was utilized a lot. The acidity brought balance to a lot of drinks. What had occurred, especially through Prohibition times, was you got poor quality spirits or bootleg spirits, so you need a lot of sugar to kind of sweeten it up and kill that taste. Well, you needed some balance for the sugar, and thus the lime juice came in. So that does sound like something you would have heard about 100 years ago in cocktail culture. Move ahead to 1950, and the New York Times had done an article about drinks of the West Indies, the Caribbean, and they talked about the Cuban Pina Colada. It was one of the first times they mentioned coconut milk. That had not been, when anybody referenced the drink Pina Colada, you generally had not heard that before. This was one of the original references to that. Now, 4 years later, we got the big breakthrough in Pina Colada technology. A professor named Roman Lopez Trezzeri, hopefully I said that right, he created a method to extract coconut cream, and thus Coco Lopez was born. If you enjoy a really good pina colada, top quality pina colada with good rum, Coco Lopez is just an absolute must, and again, they took the pina colada game up a level. Now, do we have that in here? The answer is no. Let's go over the can real quick. Pina colada, flavored wine cocktail. There's no hard, that tells us no hard spirits in here. Minute Maid spiked, made with 3% lime juice. There's that lime juice coming in there. Again, 13.9% ABV. This is one of the highest I've seen. And on the very bottom, we get the devil in the details. Other than standard orange wine with natural flavors. That's right, we ran into the orange wine again. Buzz Balls, I believe Beatbox. And a lot of these brands are utilizing that now and then just adding flavor. Now with Minute Maid, this makes a ton of sense, being the company that really kind of created orange juice concentrate. Utilizing orange wine makes a lot of sense. It's a great brand extension, even the lime juice. So this all kind of works, but this is, again, like Buzz Balls and stuff, we've got an orange wine base because it does essentially kind of taste vodka-ish or makes people think of vodka cocktails, and then you add whatever flavor. There's probably I'm pretty sure there's no Coco Lopez or anything that in there. If there's any pineapple juice, it's probably on accident. It's just the orange wine, probably a little bit of that lime, because lime does bring balance, and there's something about that lime juice that really makes a drink pop, and then your pina colada flavor. So that's pure what we have here. Now at 13.9%, you could argue this should go over ice. Everybody's tolerance is different. I'm just going to go right in the can, so let's go ahead and jump in. That is, you get the pina colada flavor. Kind of comes and goes. Very sweet, of course. Body-wise, this is medium light. It's not light body. This is not. This has quite a bit more viscosity than, let's say, if we did a pina colada flavored hard seltzer or something like that. More viscosity than that. However, and this is where as an old school bartender, these products kind of make me a little cranky. If you have a good pina colada with the Coco Lopez, a good rum, fresh, pineapple juice in there, there's a body, there's a flavor, especially the fats that are in that coconut cream give you a certain mouthfeel that you just not, yes, this does taste like a pina colada. It makes your brain think pina colada. However, the mouthfeel and the rest of it is not. So if you haven't had those experiences of a good quality, then this kind of works. If you just like, I like coconut, I want something to drink, this will definitely work for you. That being said, we talked about it being pool drink season. This works just fine. Pour over a cup of ice, sit in the lounge chair outside by the pool, get you a tan. It definitely works for that. At 13.9, these things might sneak up on you, especially if you don't drink them over ice and just kind of drink the cans, because these cans are, how many ounces? That's 6.5 ounce. It's not. It's like the little 7-ounce mini beer bottles. So these things can sneak up on you. Don't drink them like that. But overall, not a bad product. If you're just looking, again, something easy drink by the pool, you like Pina Coladas, but you've never had, the real experience, you probably might like this. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or things from the liquor store you'd like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.